to start this practice, taking a few moments to settle into our seat right now. Finding a comfortable position that we're stable in, with our back straight, chin parallel to the ground, hands resting on our laps or to our sides. So adopting a posture that is dignified, that is conducive to alertness, to awakeness, to not falling into dullness. But at the same time, a posture that is comfortable, that is at ease to this body. So one that we can spend the next 20 to 30 minutes in. And then setting our intention for this practice. To meditate for the next 20 to 30 minutes. To familiarize ourselves with this aspect of the mind, of thoughts turning into thinking. And your own motivation. How do you hope to benefit from the practice of meditation for yourself and others? How might this familiarizing yourself with the mind and thoughts turning into thinking be of benefit to yourself and others? And then gently guiding our attention inwards, and finding the breath within the body. Maybe noticing the air going in through our nostrils, filling up our lungs. Maybe noticing the slight pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. And maybe noticing the flow of the air going out from our lungs and out through our nostrils. And gently resting our attention on the sensations of the breath. In, pause, out, pause. In, pause, out, pause. And then trying to see if it's possible to elongate. So to breathe a little bit deeper than normal. So breathing in a little bit deeper than normal and gently releasing the breath. Both in-breaths and out-breaths being gentle. And then also seeing if it's possible to equalize the breath. So breathing in a little bit deeper than normal with both our in-breaths and out-breaths of equal length and rhythm. So we can get a general felt feeling of this. We can use counting to help us or phrases. And throughout this we might notice that thoughts still arise within the mind, and that's absolutely fine. That's what the mind does. The mind produces thought. And in the practice of meditation, we're not trying to make the mind go blank or block thoughts. but to notice when we get engaged with thoughts, and thoughts turn into thinking, and we get carried away into thinking without knowing. So noticing when we're lost in thinking. So when there is a momentary lapse of awareness, and then gently bringing the mind back to this breathing body. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In breaths and out breaths a little bit deeper than normal and of equal length and rhythm. And now gently focusing a little bit more on the out breath. And maybe noticing if there is a releasing quality to this out breath. And noticing if there is a tendency for the body to relax as the body breathes out. And then trying to see if the mind can learn from the body. So as the body breathes out and relaxes, our mind lets go of involvement with thinking and begins to settle. And then gently letting our breathing fall into its natural rhythm. And then gently noticing the general felt feeling within the body. Maybe there's a sense of relaxation or the opposite, tension, stillness or the opposite, agitation. Awakeness or the opposite, stillness, sleepiness. So noticing and letting experience unfold as it is. And then noticing the points of contact between the body and the chair, the feet and the ground. Maybe noticing our hands resting on our laps or besides us. And then gently scanning through our body, noticing our toes, the bottom of our foot, the top of our foot, our heels, ankles, our shin, the calf, our knees, the hamstring, our thighs, pelvis, the lower back, maybe noticing the curvature of the spine, our abdomen, and maybe noticing the rising and falling of the abdomen with the breath, our upper back, our chest, our fingers, our hands, our forearms, our elbows, our biceps and triceps, our shoulders, our necks, our face, our ears, eyes, nose and mouths, the back of our head, and the top of our head. And then noticing the whole body breathing. And then getting a general felt feeling of the weight of the body. And how the weight of the body is unconditionally supported by the ground beneath the body. And as the ground unconditionally supports the body unconditionally supports the mind. So as I breathe out, mind settling within the body, unconditionally supported by the body resting on the ground, unconditionally supported by the ground beneath the body. Mind and body resting, unconditionally supported by the ground and surrounded by space. And just resting with an experience right now. So just resting with an experience right now. And reminding ourselves that within the practice of meditation, we do not enter into conflict with the mind, but we familiarize ourselves with the mind. And the process of how thoughts arise and if we do not get involved with these thoughts, how they pass through. So the notion of thoughts are self-arising, self-displaying, and self-liberating. And as soon as one thought liberates itself, another thought arises. And again, noticing the process. Thought self-arises, self-displays, and self-liberates. So, at any moment, as the thought arises, displays itself, and liberates itself, we might notice that we get engaged with a thought. And the thought perpetuates itself, turning into thinking. So whenever we notice that thoughts turn into thinking, acknowledging that, and gently bringing the mind back to this breathing body. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. So as we breathe out, the mind settling within the body resting on the ground, unconditionally supported by the ground beneath the body. So our mind and body resting here right now. So taking a few moments to rest and settle the mind within the body. And then again, just sitting there and watching. So the notion of the mind being the sky and the clouds being the thoughts. So these clouds passing freely through the sky. So noticing the impermanence nature of thoughts. How when we get involved with them, how impermanent thoughts can be. How they arise, they display, and they self-liberate. And again, being realistic, that any time during this process as the thought arises, displays itself, and liberates itself, we might notice that we get carried away by a thought, and that's absolutely fine. And when we notice that, gently bringing the mind back to the breathing body. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. So as I breathe out, mind settling within the body resting on the ground, unconditionally supported by the ground beneath the body, and mind and body resting here right now, unconditionally supported by the ground. So taking a few moments to settle again, and then just familiarizing ourselves with this notion of the mind. The mind produces thought. Do not enter into conflict with the mind, not blocking thoughts. But watching how thoughts arise, display themselves, and liberate themselves. A thought arises, displays itself, and liberates itself. So while doing this at any moment we can engage with thoughts, but we do not do that. But notice how thoughts arise, how they display themselves, and liberate themselves. And again, the notion of being realistic, That at a time we might notice that we get carried away by thoughts, and that's absolutely fine. And when we notice that, just gently bringing the mind back. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. So letting the mind settle into the body resting on the ground. And just again, resting within experience. And as we come towards the end of this practice, becoming aware of the body, aware of the points of contact between the body and the chair, the feet and the ground, our hands resting on our laps. Aware of the breath within the body, aware of the points of contact between the body and the chair, the feet and the ground. Aware of the space around the body, the room around us, and then taking some time to gently acknowledge our presence within the room. I am here. And then, to end this practice, I invite you to put your hands on your heart. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then gently ending with a dedication that any benefits that come from this practice for myself expand outwards to others in ever-expanding circles. And in your own time, on the sound of the bell, gently ending the practice.